Hey guys, it's me Antoine, and this video, as it's been requested, is going to be about one-handed turning. A little before I actually get into the one-handed turning part though, I'd like to announce that this video is going to be the first video in a 4-part series about getting good at one-handed solving. That series is going to be continued on my channel, so if you want to take a look at the next videos that come after this one in that series, you can go subscribe to my channel. The link is in the description. And that series, as I said, is a 4-part series. So the first part is going to be this video. So it's going to be turning, how to turn fast, fluid, and how to turn. The second video is going to be about look ahead. Look ahead, there's a bit less to look about for one-handed specifically, as it's very similar to 3x3. But I'm going to try to insert a few one-handed look ahead things in there. The third part is going to be about efficiency. The third part is divided in two different videos. So the first video is going to be efficiency, as in trying to use as few moves as possible. And the second part, which is a bit more important for specifically one-handed solving, is going to be about one-handed efficiency, or more like speed optimal for one-handed. So trying to use as many moves that are convenient for one-handed as possible. So like trying to do a lot of RU moves instead of doing, I don't know, B moves or D moves. So that's going to include a lot of the algorithms, one-handed specific algorithms. That's going to be included in that part. And then finally the fourth part is going to be miscellaneous things. So stuff like the cubes, what kind of cubes you should use, whatever, and then in conclusion. So I think that all those three major parts, the turning, look ahead, and efficiency, are very important for one-handed solving. If you want to be a good one-handed solver, you have to be pretty good at each of those three things. There are people that are very fast with only about 2 of those 3, like myself. My look ahead isn't all that good. My turning is pretty good. My speed efficiency is just very good. My move efficiency isn't all that good though. However, someone like Michal Pleskovic, who has the world record right now, he's very good at all 3 of these categories. So that's probably why he has the world record, why he's so fast, because he's just very good overall. Other people like Bill Wang, for example, he's very fast, but he has very good look ahead, and he has very good move efficiency and one-handed efficiency. However, his turning isn't very good. If he would improve his turning, I'm sure he could get the world record pretty easily. Same goes with Felix. Felix, he tries to turn very fast, but his turning doesn't seem to be very fluid. Felix also has extremely good look ahead and great efficiency, so it just goes to show that you can be very fast if you're very good at 2 of the parts, but to be the fastest, you have to be very good at all 3 of the parts. So now, enough talking about the rest of the series. Let's just go ahead and talk about one-handed turning. The first thing you gotta know how to do is holding the cube. Just a little side note before I start. I'm going to be always using the left hand to demonstrate stuff in this video. However, if you use your right hand, because some people use their right hand for solving one-handed, just mirror what I do. So if I say to hold the cube like this, then you can just hold it like that. So just take it and mirror what I say and use it for the other hand. However, if you're starting right now and you don't know if you should use your right hand or your left hand, I recommend that you go with your left hand, because there are already a lot more resources for left-handed solvers. So I would recommend you use your left hand for that. It'll just be a lot easier in the long run. So when you're holding your cube, you're gonna have your thumb like this, covering this 2x2 block, and pretty much in the middle like this. And you're also gonna have your ring finger and your middle finger in the back, so covering about the same area as your thumb. And you're going to make sure that the angle is good, because the angle at which you're holding the cube is actually quite important to make sure that your pinky and your your index finger able to reach and are able to do the turns. You also got to make sure that your fingers aren't passing like that, because you're going to have to use your pinky and your index to move these two faces. So now that you know how to hold the cube, we're going to talk about how to turn it. I'm going to start off with the R move. So to do R move, you just move your pinky like this. It's quite simple. Okay, I think you get it. Now to do the U prime move, it's very simple as well. You just flick with your index like this. So U prime and R are quite easy, but R prime and U are much more difficult, especially for beginners. So to do the R prime, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get your pinky and you're going to put it in front of the cube like this. Now, you might have trouble reaching your pinky there and doing the move like that. It's probably the most difficult thing about OH solving at the beginning, because often your fingers aren't very flexible yet, so you have trouble getting it here. You might think that it's just that your hands are too small and your cube is too big, but really 99% of the time it's just that your fingers are not flexible enough yet. And really the flexibility thing comes with practice. However, for now, if you're still having a lot of difficulty reaching your pinky there, I would recommend you might want to try with a bit of a smaller cube, because it really helps you to learn how to do R primes and the U moves later as well. When I started cubing one-handed, I had a lot of trouble doing the R prime moves, so I tried with a smaller cube, and I eventually got used to it, and I think that helped overall when I came back to the normal sized cube, because it really gave me fluidity, and it was a lot less clumsy when I was doing the R prime moves. So R prime like this. Yep. U moves are very similar. Really there are two ways that I do the U moves. So I can either do like this, just like the pinky. So I gotta reach my index here. Like that. So U prime U like this. However, another way of doing U is you can push like this. This one's a bit easier to do, I think, because you need you need less flexibility. So you're just gonna go like this. And I find that this one's a bit more convenient when you can follow it up with like an R prime or something, because then you can just go like that to do the R prime. It's up to you though. I would recommend you learn how to do both this way of doing U and this way, because they can be convenient in different times. Now for the other moves, so you're not only going to be using R and U, although most of the moves you're going to try to convert them into R and U, because R and U moves are very fast. But F moves are also quite important. So the way that I do F moves, it's a bit more complicated than the other types of moves. So you gotta move your pinky here and your index here to kind of hold the cube, so that you're gonna like change your grip a little. So notice how these two fingers are at the same spot, but this one's here and this one's here. So I'm just gonna use my thumb and go in the corner like this to do an F. And pretty much the same thing with F prime, except go the other way. So go like this. I can also go like that, but that's a lot less convenient, so I suggest that you go like here. So for example, if I do a T perm, I go like that with the F, and then F prime like that. F moves are pretty convenient, and I really recommend you learn how to do F moves, because it's really a waste to go do a rotation in U just to do an F move. So yeah, that's it for the F moves. Now there are most of the other moves, you can just do them by doing Z move and then doing an R and U. For example, if I want to do LU prime, I can just go like this. If I have to do a B move, the best thing to do is probably just rotate like that, However, if you want to do other moves like D moves, there are ways of not moving the cube very much. You can use your ring finger, just like this, or doing like this for the D prime, and then just pushing for D. It works pretty well, but the problem is that it moves your pinky away from the correct spot, so it's a bit less convenient to do R moves after that. But it's still pretty. It's still not bad. So if I want to do an alg like this, I can use my ring finger like that, and that way I don't have to use my pinky to do the D moves. That way it might save a tiny bit of time, but not very much. Same thing with the wedge moves. If you want, you can use your ring finger to do the wedge moves because it's a bit closer, it's already there. For example, this, you can go with your however, yeah, for the R wedge prime, I generally just do it with pinky. Another type of move you can do is a double flick. Basically what a double flick is when you use two fingers to do the same move, one after the other. So like this is be a double flick for U2 prime, or R2 like this. I can use my pinky and then my ring finger. Or I can do D2 using my pinky and my ring finger again, just like this. Now, a lot of people use double flicking in the middle of solves. However, I find it's kind of awkward and it ruins the flow of the solve. So, for example, if I want to do R2 UR prime, I can't just do. It's not very fluid because I have to go there and then I have to like regrip and move my index again. So with the only time that I do double flicking is when it's either the last move or one of the last moves of the solve. So if I have a U2 AUF, I'm just gonna go do U2 like that. Except if I have a U2 in the middle of the solve, I might not do U2. I'll probably just do U prime because if I do U2, as I said, it ruins the flow of the solve, and the moves that I'm gonna do after are gonna be a bit more awkward, and the solve's gonna be less smooth. So I would recommend that you learn how to do double flicking. If you learn how to do double flicking very early, so when you're not very fast at one-handed, in that case you might be able to implement it in your solves without really losing any time. But me, I'm already fast, so if you're already fast, I would recommend you might not try to do double flicking in the middle of a solve, because it'll pretty much ruin the flow of your solve. Now finally, rotations. Rotations are pretty straightforward for Z moves or Z moves, whatever. You can just use kind of your index and rotate the cube like that. Or, yeah. X moves, just gonna, kind of use your pinky, I guess. Well, it's a bit more difficult to explain rotations. For Y moves, you can just, like this. Yeah. So another cool thing that you can do for one-handed turning is what you call table abuse. And table abuse can be quite useful for M moves. I don't recommend you use table abuse for anything else. So basically what it is that you can put your cube against the surface like this, and then you can use your finger to just do M moves like that. That way you don't have to do like R wedge, R prime. It can be quite convenient. You can use that to do H firms, or to do rule LSE. It can be quite convenient for that. Quick recap: hold your cube like this, thumb in the middle, ring finger and middle finger in the back, R like this, R prime like this, U prime like this, U like this, F like this, F prime like this, D you can do like this, D prime you can do like this, Double flicking, you can do like this, rotations, and table views. If you want to turn fast, you first need to focus on fluidity. If you try to just do U prime move really fast, and then do R prime move fast, U prime really fast, and you've got pauses in between, in the end, it won't be really fast. What you want to do is you want to have very little time in between every move. So if I want to do the same thing, I can instead go like this. So I spent less time in between each move. Even though the moves were slightly longer, it was faster, and most of all, it was much more fluid. When you have very fluid solves, fluid moves, that's when you can really get fast. Because if you have fluid moves, then all you have to do is you have to practice those moves very many times, and then eventually it'll get faster no matter what. Personally, when I practiced one-handed, I didn't practice any specific thing. I didn't have any specific exercises to increase turn speed. The only thing I did was that I tried to get fluid solves, fluid moves, and then I would just practice a lot, and over time, with all the practice of the fluid moves, my turn speed, naturally, I was able to do those moves faster, and the moves were already fluid, and that made my turn speed a lot faster. Now, if you want to really improve your turn speed, I would recommend you try to get your moves as fluid as possible. So try to take the least time possible in between the moves. So try to take less time to kind of reset your fingers to be able to do the next move. Once you have fluid moves, all you have to do is to practice turning the cube a lot, and your turn speed will naturally get faster. To practice turning a lot, you can do different things. You can just practice a lot of algorithms. For example, I can practice U-perm a lot, and eventually I'll be able to do the U-perm a little faster because it'll take a bit less time to do the moves. Also, things I can do, I can try to practice certain triggers, so I can go and do this a lot until I've mastered it and I can do it quite fluidly and fast. I can also do triggers like this or whatever. Another thing that you can do, that I actually do sometimes, to increase your turn speed, is to practice 2-gen scrambles a lot. So if I haven't been cubing for a long time, often what I do is I'm just going to go on QQ timer and then ask to generate some 2-gen scrambles, and then I can scramble it one-handed or two-handed, doesn't really matter. And then basically what a 2-gen scramble is, it's a scramble that scrambles only R and U. And then when I go solve it, I use only R and U. And that trains your TPS because R and U moves are what you use the most often. And when it's just 2-gen, then you're able to look ahead better and turn really fast and stuff. So that's an exercise that you can do to improve your turn speed. Other than those exercises, like just doing algs a lot of times, doing 2-gen scrambles, doing a few triggers, there isn't really anything you can do to increase your turn speed other than that. Once you have fluid moves, so to increase your turn speed, just do a lot of solves and a lot of practicing these triggers. It's not something that you just get like that. Your fingers have to get used to turning. They have to get used to the technique that you use. You have to get used to the technique that you use. You have to know how you're going to turn it. You have to get everything down really well. And then after a while, when you've got used to it, after a lot of practice, at that time, you'll be able to turn faster. It's like any other cube. It's like being fast at anything. You have to just practice it a lot, drill it, and it'll come. Yeah. So that's it for the turning video, I guess. Thanks for watching.